Hey guys, how are you all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. Today what I have for you guys is another movie review, and today we are going to be reviewing Holmes and Watson. Now, let's get into this before we actually start the review. I don't trust anyone's opinion. If you've seen any of my videos, I usually talk about it. My opinion counts, no one else does. I take them into consideration, but I don't believe them. I only believe what I think. So when I saw this movie had an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes, I was like, well, who cares? I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes anyway, so it doesn't matter. It might suck, it might be great, who knows? So I went into this movie with, like, expectations, like, just kind of like, I was pumped for it, but then I'm like, well, it looks like garbage too, so I don't really know how to think. Because I love Will Ferrell in movies like Elf, and Daddy's Home 1 and 2, The Other Guys, the Lego Movie, all the, Megamind. All of his movies that I've seen are really funny, and of course John C. Reilly as Wreck-It Ralph and stuff like that. So I mean, they both have potential, and they both worked together before in Step Brothers and Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. So, but I haven't seen those. So I'm like, well, okay, it might be funny because I really like Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg together. I think they're freaking hilarious. But John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell, I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna work, but we'll go into it. So I don't know how to feel about this movie. I really don't, because I don't hate it. Right? I mean, it's not like the worst. Like, everyone who's saying, oh, it's the worst movie ever, I think you're kind of overreacting. Was this the best comedy of the year? No. Was this the best comedy of all time? No. Was this a good comedy? Yes. Now, that's the word I'm going to be using a lot, is good. This movie is just good. It's okay. It's average. Of course, the acting, on point, just what you want from a comedy movie with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. I mean, what are you going to expect there? Nothing magnificent. They do what they do, and they do a good job of it. CGI, from what there is, it looks fine. Some of the backdrops can be a little wonky, but again, it's a comedy movie. Who gives a crap about that? You know what I mean? Let's see. There's a musical number for some reason. Now, I thought that was pretty funny. Again, I hate musicals. But it was funny, and I enjoyed it for what it was. It was kind of like a little, lighthearted thing. It was funny. So that, no negatives there. Really, the only negatives I could, really think of was it wasn't really memorable. I mean, there were a lot of memorable moments, but when you look at that movie compared to any other Will Ferrell movie, there aren't as many quotable things or, just, funny moments. And, not to get me wrong, this movie's friggin' hilarious, but only in spades, right? Again, this movie's good. It's average. So is the comedy. I found myself laughing a lot throughout this movie. Laugh out loud. Funny. A lot of people said it was the least funniest comedy of all time. I will agree that some of it wasn't funny. I'd say around 90-85% of the jokes landed for me. But for the most part, I was laughing. I thought I had a great time. But I don't know. There's just something about it. And maybe it's their accents that kind of deteriorated from them, because they don't normally sound like that. So maybe that was it. I'm not really sure. But just everything came across as either rushed or just, I don't know, tech rushed, you know what I mean? Like, they took everything, and they had a good premise, but they messed it up during their tech performance. That was basically what I can do. When they were editing the movie, editing's fine, but the ADR, which is when, I talk like this, I say, hey, guys, but, you see my mouth, hey, guys, but I'm saying, banana cake, you know what I mean? So that's what ADR is, and that's in a lot of older, cheaper-made movies, and it's probably in a few modern movies, but they do it so well you can't tell. This movie you can tell. Now, it's not all the time, it's sometimes. It's in the beginning, it's in a little bit of the middle, and it's in the end big time during one scene. Which, of course, I'm not going to spoil. But, yeah, so the ADR, it didn't really cut it for me. When they did it, you can tell big time. Professor Moriarty, who's, of course, the villain, the classic Sherlock Holmes one. I'm not going to spoil anything about that, but that's, if you can hear that water, that's my thing going on. It's the water. But anyway, yeah, Moriarty, he wasn't really a good villain. He was okay. I mean, Ralph Fiennes played him, so he was alright. But I think the majority of this really was just comedy people, right? People you know are funny, and you know they're good together, but they're not as funny, and they don't work as well together. Now, I'm not saying this movie isn't funny. Again, I think this movie's really funny. But again, only in spades. It's not as funny as other movies. Because there's some jokes I was laughing my butt off. And then there's some where I go, and then there's some where I don't even react, you know what I mean? Because it's just too dumb. Sometimes the jokes go on for far too long, Now, I like a joke that continues, right, if it works well. Some of them do, some of them don't. There's a scene where Sherlock Holmes and Watson are trying on hats in the beginning, and they're late for a meeting, right, with Moriarty, or like a court thing with Moriarty. And Will Ferrell's trying on all these hats, he's hat, and it's funny. I like that because, that's part of the comedy. But then there's some moments where they do that, and it's just like, okay, you can continue, you know what I mean? Because when you get a long comedy moment and it's not funny to you, then the whole scene is just ruined, But, again, there's not many of those scenes, but for me there were one or two scenes where I was just like, okay, let's hurry the scene along, you know what I mean? It's funny-ish, but it's not that funny. Let's keep going. And then, of course, you get to the fact that, I think that, I don't know. Again, it's hard, because it's a good movie, but it's not, it's just average. It's not what you would expect. It's not on par with everything. And it just doesn't seem to click the way other Will Ferrell movies would. And then, like I said, the ADR, acting's great, like I said. So a lot of things are good in this movie, but is this the worst comedy of the year, and is this worthy of people walking out 10 minutes in and asking for refunds? Hell no, this movie's friggin' awesome. I'm definitely going to buy it on Blu-ray. But is it up to par with what I would expect from a Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly movie? No. It has funny moments, but some of them go in spades, like I said, and some are funny, some are not funny. And then there's this repeating joke where they kind of, they reference things, or they mention things that are now, like in our time, like selfies and pay-to-view, and, inappropriate text messages and all that stuff that one sadly is here. But, all that stuff is prevalent in today's world. And, of course, Holmes and Watson takes place, it's a period piece, sort of. So, some of it is authentic, some of it isn't. But, the part where, like, when Holmes is trying on hats, he has a Make America Great Again hat for, President Trump. And, the girl in the movie, John C. Reilly's love interest, Watson's love interest, basically she mentions, oh, they're from America. So it's like, oh, our president is great, unlike a billion-dollar ruthless tyrant. Of course, talking about President Trump, which, first of all, this is not going to turn into a negative thing at all. I'm not going to mention this in my review, but don't mention politics in movies. Just don't do that shit. That's stupid. So other than that, I think it was, all the characters did a good job. CGI was okay. ADR was pretty terrible at times. And some of the humor lands really well, and some of it doesn't. And then some of it just drones on too long, and when you don't get it, you don't care. You know what I mean? Was this a boring movie? No, it wasn't boring. I actually cared about the plot. It was so stupid and so dumb that, because it's a comedy movie, right? You're not expecting something awesome like a Marvel movie or something of that standard. It's just a comedy movie. And that's all it is. And I think that they did a good job. Basically, they did a good job. But all in all, for Holmes and Watson, if you just want to see a short movie that's funny, that you don't have to think about, go see it. I think it's definitely going to be worth your money. You might not like it. You might like it. I'm not sure. Pretty much 99% of the world thinks it's, horse shit. I think it's really funny. I don't know why. I guess I'm just weird. But I'm not going to give this an A like my other reviews, because those movies that I give A's to deserve it, right, in my opinion. So, Holmes and Watson, while it's not a terrible movie, it certainly isn't up to par with what I would expect, and it's definitely not a great movie. I still am going to buy it on Blu-ray, and I'm going to have to give Holmes and Watson a C. Again, it's average, it's good, it's okay, and yeah. So, that was my review of Holmes and Watson. I was really worried that that would be, terrible. It wasn't, like I said. It was alright. So thank you guys very much for watching. Stay tuned for more content very soon. And we're almost at 60 subscribers, because when I post this, I'll be at 58. So hopefully we can get to 60 soon. And when I do get to 100 subscribers, guys, I will be doing another. Basically, if you saw my action tribute for January 1st, it has like the Marvel and then the DC thumbnail. That was basically, if you saw that, that one's like a culmination of a bunch of different franchises for a song. I'm going to be doing that same concept for Freebird by Leonard Skinner when I get to 100 subscribers. And it's going to be crazy, it's going to be awesome, so that's what you're going to get, as well as a little thank you video. So thank you guys again very much for watching this video, and tell me what you thought about Holmes and Watson. Did you hate it? Did you like it? Was it just okay like I thought? And yeah, so thanks guys, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more future updates. I'll see you all in the next video.